the Range Rover Autobiography, the big daddy of them all, the most luxurious vehicle that Range Rover makes. All the research and development that Range Rover has done, they have thrown at this car. They have put every single thing that they know into the Range Rover, and it is the bed for them to show off everything that they know. But Jaguar Land Rover has had a couple of tricky years, but that is changing thanks to Land Rover. And why is that changing for them? Land Rover was making SUVs, well, they still make SUVs, but they decided they want to go from utility to more luxury, and they started pitching their products as a luxury SUV. The previous generation of the Range Rover and the Range Rover Sport did phenomenally well, but the second JLR launched this, or Land Rover launched this, and the Defender, they hit it completely out of the park. It's a sixer, a home run, whatever you want to call it. They just became wildly successful. That means previously they were selling cars which were difficult to sell or convince to customers. They were kind of managing, but now they are increasing their sales and their profitability. Last year, they saw an increase of 9% over the previous years, with an increase of profitability as well. 68% of the entire lineup is from the premium segment sales. That means 68% of Land Rover sales come from the Range Rover Sport, and the Defender. That means the more expensive car they sell, the more money they make, the more profit they make. This is exactly opposite for the other luxury brands who have to sell more of their cheaper cars. That means they make less money per car, and they have to make all of that extra effort to sell the cheaper cars, and hence the volume is larger as well. So basically, Land Rover has to sell less to make more money. Does that make sense to you? It definitely does, because that's how the luxury industry works. And the perfect way to explain this luxury is a review with the Range Rover Autobiography. Modern day luxury is all about reductive design, minimalism, and the principle less is more. Land Rover has done exactly that with the Range Rover. Following that thought process, the entire car looks exactly like a Range Rover. It looks like an evolution of the previous design language, but at the same time looks modern, looks futuristic, looks future-proof. At the same time, it looks completely minimalist. How have they done that? It's a very interesting design thought process, because the car has a lot of road presence. Whenever you drive it, people know you're driving of something of substance. They realize that you're driving something of importance without being too aggressive, too in your face, too ostentatious. So less is more. The current generation of the Range Rover is a clear evolution of previous Range Rovers and Land Rovers. Land Rover has made sure it follows design principles that have been passed down through time to make sure you're able to identify this as a Range Rover without looking at the badge. At the same time, the car has a lot of presence following the minimalistic design language. Now, this car looks absolutely spectacular in person and on the road. It also has a lot of street presence, is luxurious, and commands a lot of respect. Why? Why is that? Well, it's also market perception, marketing, and a couple of other things that go in together. But at this point of time, look at it. It's beautiful. The silhouette, the shape is clearly that of a Range Rover. The headlights are a complete evolution of the previous generation, but clearly identifiable as that on a Range Rover. The grille is an evolution of the previous grille, but is brand new. This entire structure in the front, bigger, broader, larger, all new at the same time. Beautiful, it's elegant, it's timeless. There's not too many shapes, not too many things jutting out. It looks simple and at the same time looks beautiful. When the designers at Range Rover sketch out the preliminary sketches of the car, they follow a 3-line rule, which is the roof line, the middle line and the bottom line. When these 3 lines are sketched out, that's when they design the entire car around it. Now, Range Rovers have a very definitive design element around them. So what are the defining cues of a Range Rover? Obviously, the boxy shape and silhouette, which is identifiable as a Range Rover. This design element, which lets you identify it as a Range Rover. And the floating roof line. So because this is blacked out, it looks like the roof is floating by itself. So it looks disconnected from the middle. This is also a very Range Rover feature. Now, interesting is on this car is that the bottom also is blacked out, and depending on what you want or what you spec it with, doesn't matter, because Range Rover will not paint this to any other color but black. However, this middle floating design language can be moved to body color. So you can get this in body color or the roof in contrast depending on what you want, but the bottom never gets body color, it always stays black. Now because this is the P530 or the V8, it comes with Brembo brake calipers as well. Following the minimalistic thought process, what Land Rover has done with the windows is very interesting. On regular cars, you have the outer panel and then you have the inner door pad. The window sits in between. Now when the window sits in between, you will see that there is a ton of visible rubber and space between inside and outside. What they have done over here is they have reduced that space completely. They have covered it with an external metal panel which goes all the way up, and then the interior door trim which comes and meets the glass actually in between without all the rubber visible. Now, this design element runs across the entire car, making it look super elegant and takes away the not so premium look of the rubber. Very, very interesting thought process. Land Rover has given a lot of thought while designing the Range Rover. Look at the rear. Simple, minimalistic, elegant. Just look at it. No one has done this before. Now, if you see this entire panel, you can see the rear indicators and the hazards, brake light over there, and the brake lights over here as well. Well, look at this. See that? Completely black. So if you're seeing this in the daytime, this entire thing is blacked out, and as you can see, the brakes have been depressed, so the color is much more lighter. When you're driving this in daytime, you will see this as completely blacked out. Only when you press the brakes, this will light up. Very, very cool feature. And then obviously, because this is a Range Rover, you have the standard split tailgate. Beautiful. You can even adjust the rear seats if you want them to lie flat automatically. Ton of storage, and then you pull this and you have a backrest as well. And if you don't want this, you can spec it with foldable seats or a complete automatic picnic bench which you can chill on in this car. So very easy to do it. And then when you close, you press these buttons, it goes down, and obviously because it's a Range Rover, just press a button and it closes. Beautifully thought out design. Interiors on the Range Rover are as spectacular as they get. Look at this, beautiful leather everywhere, wood trimming over here, leather on the roof liner. Now because this is the Autobiography, it comes with a ton of options pre-spec'd in, but you can pretty much customize this to as you want, how you want, with a choice of materials such as aluminium, carbon fiber, leather, wood. Go crazy with your imagination. Seating is absolutely spectacular. The typical Range Rover sofa style seating with the armchair kind of feel. There's a refrigerator over here, storage and cup holders over here. Again, wireless charging and other storage over here. simple minimalistic design language, beautiful brushed steel or aluminium kind of look and accents everywhere, grab handles, top-notch materials, very nice space to be in. Now all of the buttons are on the center Pivi control screen. So this new infotainment is called the Pivi Pro. Obviously this is the biggest screen you get on any Range Rover. A lot of options: wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, connect to whatever you want, off-roading systems, managing the entire drive modes, the valet mode, all of that is there on this screen, making it pretty easy to use, except for when you want to adjust the temperature while driving, because then you have to go into the touchscreen and manage that. But there's a shortcut. You can just do it from the side by sliding it up and down, and you can basically control the temperature or the fan. Rear seats, as comfortable as they get, you can pretty much adjust them to slide backwards, forwards, lot of leg room, headroom, shoulder room, everything is beautiful. You have your own infotainment system. Obviously you have this whole center armrest with this cup holder, which takes a bit of time to open, and then you slide it open to keep your coffee cup or whatever else you're drinking, or you have to press it to close. By the way, the screen can control the blinds, the seats, the climate control, the lighting, everything inside the car. And then you press this and it goes up, converting it from a 4-seater to a 5-seater. Proper luxury. And then you have the beautiful Meridian surround sound system with all the speakers and tweeters and the crazy output that they say. I've forgotten the exact number, but it's properly banging. Off-roading, build capability, drive capability, systems, software, infotainment, off-roading, every single thing that Range Rover knows, they put it into this car. Now, we have driven the P400 before, and we genuinely like the P400, which is the 400 horsepower, 6-cylinder, mild hybrid car. But there was one flaw, and you do not realize this flaw when you drive the car singularly. After 3,500, 4,000 RPM, the mild hybrid system or the 6-cylinder engine becomes a bit rough. It kind of has this rough edge towards it. And I kind of understand, because all the cars that Range Rover make are usually designed for comfortable cruising, low down torque and off-roading. So all of these engines are designed for that. The second you start pushing those cars into really high revving modes, they don't perform well. Like they kind of become rough. They perform, but they become rough. They become un-Range Rover like. They don't become easygoing, luxurious, smooth, creamy. All those adjectives are taken out of the conversation. So Range Rover has found a solution to that, and they know this. They kind of know this. So they found a solution to that, and they know that their customer base is a luxury customer base who's willing to spend top dollar on their products. And how and why will they spend top dollar on their products? They will spend when you put in a V8 in there. Yes, this is the P530. 530 horsepower from a twin-turbo V8 from BMW. And believe me, it is so much more smoother, so much more creamier, so much more refined than the P400, the 6-cylinder one. So this kind of car needs a V8. It really has a smooth drive experience, that relaxed couch-like, sofa-like experience, all the things that you would expect from a luxury off-roading SUV. Even though this has a lot of off-roading pedigree and capability, I don't think anyone takes this off-roading. But the road experience is brilliant. It's smooth, it's refined, it's comfortable, it's luxurious, it's fast. It has so much road presence, and I love the minimalistic exterior and interior. This is the car that says a lot without saying anything or very less. So that by itself is modern day luxury. Nothing to complain about. Beautiful driving experience, very luxurious, very comfortable. The only problem is the body roll. So obviously there's body roll, there's pitch and yaw, and that is a bit unnerving for passengers at time. And Range Rover knows that, so they have developed the new 6D suspension, which is implemented in the brand new SUV and the Defender Octa, which reduces pitch, body roll and yaw. So we haven't tried that suspension setup yet, but I heard it's brilliant. So looking forward to trying that. Time for me to go keep driving this thing. So, what do you guys think of the Range Rover? Let us know in the comments, because we love the car. We love Range Rover as a brand, and we love what they have done with it. Now, the Range Rover is a global sales success. 4 years into their production cycle, everywhere across the world, they are doing superbly well with this car. Nothing to complain about. And we, like I said, we love driving Range Rovers, including this one. Now, let us know exactly how you will spec your Range Rover, because for us, or at least for me, the configurator seems quite confusing with too many variables happening. So my suggestion would be, go down to your local dealership and spec your car exactly how you want, with them advising on what is required and what is not required as per your needs and desires. The price varies from 750,000 dirhams depending on what you spec, and can go up to 1.1 million dirhams. So that's like $200,000 up to $300,000. Now that's a ton of the money, but Range Rover has given the competition a run for their money. They are outselling pretty much everything in that price bracket. So let us know your thoughts on the Range Rover. We love it. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.